Okay, I think we're taking a video. Well, look at this. The sun is out. We're back in the pines again. We're at Pinelawn. Got a few cirrus clouds around, but the sky's really pretty. Got a few cumulus clouds in the mix too. But take a look. We got forsythias in bloom now, so I wanted to show you that. It's very beautiful. Take a look at these forsythias. Yeah, I know I'm using my phone. I'll use, this isn't gonna be a long video. It's how to get here. I was doing well until last night, because so far I've been able to handle, what they've been doing. It's not easy, but when I heard Ocean County closed their parks, I just lost it. Because I have to get to the Pine Barrens, alright? Who is the government to tell me I can't go to the Pine Barrens? Who are they? Is there anyone else around here? Do you see anyone else around here? I don't. And if I was in Jake's Ranch now, or yesterday, or whenever the day, that place doesn't get that crowded. I really wanted to get there one more time. I might go anyway. I don't care. I don't give a crap. No one, like I said, no one keeps me from the Pine Barrens. I don't care who the hell they are. Nobody comes in between me and the Pine Barrens. Oh, look at these shapes here. Hey, I'm listening to Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. Who do you think you are? Google it, it's a great song. That goes out to everybody who tries to keep me from the Pine Barrens. Because nobody keeps me from the Pine Barrens. Look at these shapes here. It's just so nice to be here. So nice to be here and just, it's so important for people to get outside and enjoy the sun. And, people tell me, John, it's because people were crowding in the parks. I know that. But, this is beautiful. Look at this. I'll back up for you. There you go. That's a beautiful shot right there. Well, I guess I'll have to take another picture. Okay. Ooh, look at that cloud over there. Unfortunately, I still see a couple of stray contrails in the sky. Still have airplanes flying. It's ridiculous. There's still airplanes flying. How messed up is that? They closed the parks in Ocean County, yet there's still airplanes in the air. Get your priorities straight, man. Virus doesn't come from... Look, I don't live in Ocean County. I shouldn't make it my issue, but it is a place I frequently hike. And I just don't think they have the right to do what they're doing, They don't have the right to close the parks. No, they don't have the right to do that. They do have the right to do is if people are gathering in a park and not following the rules, ask them to disperse, and if they don't, then you're going to have to maybe give them a ticket, or maybe even arrest them. But for somebody just hiking in the woods, yeah, I am thinking of testing it. I really am thinking of testing it, because it's somebody has to take a stand for the access to the Pine Barrens. Not only am I somebody who, calls about the, this is a beauty over here too. I'm not only somebody who, is very, vocal supporter of preservation of the Pine Barrens, but also access to the Pine Barrens. And people don't have a right to just close off the Pine Barrens because of the actions of a few people. First of all, they don't have the right, period. You can't close off a forest. I don't believe that's even legal, all right? All right, I'll be on the next train. I don't believe that's even legal, all right? I want to show you some more of these forsythias here. These forsythias are like the yellow, bright yellow flowers here that you see here. Those are forsythias, and they are absolutely beautiful. And who's Virginia Haynes telling me I can't go out for a hike in the Pine Barrens? Oh. They can stop me from gathering groups and stuff, I understand that, but me, myself and I just going for a hike in the woods alone? Come on. Wait, there's a fly on me. Help me. I hope that's not a pine fly. Look at this though. Yeah, this is forsythia. It's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. It's blooming all over the place. Take a look at this. I'm sure it's blooming in Ocean County too. Though Virginia Haynes doesn't want you to see that. Well, I'm going to keep calling her out because until she reopens the parks, well, first of all, she can't close the park. So, like I said, I have a friend, Raymond. I think Raymond Sanchez. You live in Toms River. Don't let him stop you. Go. I really would like you to actually go into the park and see what happens. You know, but I know maybe he does. I can't tell people to, you know, disregard an order. But I'm not going to tell people to do what I do. But I'm going to tell you this: if I lived in Ocean County, I would be going to the park anyway, going for a hike anyway, by myself. All right. I'm not putting anyone in danger hiking by myself. All right. So, anyway, I'm going to start heading back. I was not even expecting this. I got up and I saw the sun was out. I'm like, okay, let's go out. Let's get out to some open space. You know? Okay, we're heading on out. Just want to show you this. Of course I am praying. Pray every minute that this will be over, this crisis, soon as it can be over, and that we can save as many people as we can, alright? And when I say go to the park, please understand, when I say go to the park, I mean go by yourself or with an immediate friend or family member. This is not a time to be gathering with large groups of friends, partying, you know, this is not a time for that, alright? But we have to get outside, we have to, you know, be in nature to just soothe our nerves. Because our nerves are so, I mean, my nerves are so shot. I mean, I was doing better this past week, and then that happened last night. And then it set me off, and literally, the whole night, I could feel my heart beating really fast. You know, I was starting to get a panic attack. You know? I mean, if they close the woods, I mean, what am I going to do? You know, I mean, I don't want to get arrested, you know? But how can they arrest people for just hiking? It's just they're trying to let people out of jail. They're not going to want to put more people in jail. That doesn't make any sense. I understand what they want to do, but you can't stop somebody by themselves who just wants to go for a hike in the woods. You know? It's ridiculous. Look at all these cars that are still out on the road, too. It's too much traffic. I mean, where are all these people going? I don't know, maybe they're going to the park. I don't know, people like to flock together. I don't know. I've never been one to fly with the flock, so to speak, so. You know, yeah, there's a lot of traffic. It's almost like a normal day today. Hicksville was empty, but here is Lambeau. So I'm worried certain parks are going to get overcrowded, and then they're going to have to close them. You know? Yeah, look at all this traffic. Surprised. People have to go out, and I understand that. So I'm not going to complain about. I'm not complaining about the traffic. I'm just kind of surprised about it, that's all. Also, I also expected this, that Nice Bus would be finally starting to run a Saturday schedule as of April 5th. But the routes that don't run on weekends will run. It's like a modified schedule. Because there's not enough people riding the bus, and you know, at least that way, the 24 will be running in one piece instead of two pieces, which is a pain in the neck. Guys, I have to go out. And a lot of people say you can stay home. That's great. You can do that. That's great. You can stay home for days on end. I stayed home all weekend long. All right, and after it was done, I felt sick. All right, I did not feel well. I have to go out for my own health. Maybe it doesn't affect your health, but it does for me. All right, and people need to get outside. It's essential to get outside. That is an essential activity. Even the governor admitted it. Even the governor of New Jersey and New York admitted it. All right. Point is, it's not a time to go do things that aren't essential, you know. And I hear that people are going, and I've got some reports of people in Walmart. They're just going there to browse around. This is not the time for that. If you want to go to Walmart and get something you absolutely need, that's what you go. But this is not a time to be around other people, unless you absolutely have no choice and you have to get food, you know. Oh, why do I smell a joint? I smell a joint. What the heck? All right, it's gone now. You know, it's funny. It's kind of the irony in this. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. The irony in this is that when I did a video here the last time, I believe, I was ranting and raving, and I was mad at our governor, which was ridiculous. All right, our governor's doing a great job. Like I said, I had it all wrong with him. You know, some of you may look at the time here. Still have half an hour. We'll go in here for a minute. I had it all. I have it all wrong with him. There's still some people out there that don't like him. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you this. All right, he's done a lot of things I don't agree with, and it's not like I'm forgetting about that. But it's important at a time of crisis that a government official can be calming and at the same time tell you what's really going on. And Cuomo has done that. He's tried to calm us, but he's also telling us how bad the situation is at the same time. You know, that's the thing. That's all I can say. So we're gonna just check out this little area of woods here for a little bit, because I have a little time to kill. See some younger pitch pines. Look at the older ones. Now we'll look at some younger ones. You know, but I'm worried. I'm worried about stuff. I'm not anxious today. I was anxious last night. I got a good night's sleep, took care of it. Some people think. Let me explain something to you. All right. Some people think, oh, we need to do what they're doing in Europe and some of these countries like Spain and Italy, where you're not allowed out of the house. All right. And they did that. They did that in Italy. Take a look at Italy, all right? Way more people have died in Italy, and it spread so much faster and so much more out of control there than it did here, all right? Because what happened is once people found out that was going to happen, they started fleeing and traveling all over the place, spreading the virus around. So this is why you don't want to panic people, because it's just going to make it worse. And some people, they don't understand that. They don't understand that. And it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. You know, you can't lock people inside their homes. That is like New World Order kind of stuff. All right? And if they ever tried to declare martial law in this country, there would be a civil war. Why do you think all those people were buying guns and ammunition? Because they're worried that's going to happen. And if that were to happen, we will have a civil war in this country. Because people aren't going to stand for it. All right? And we don't want to have that happen. All right? So I suggest that those who want to run their mouth about supporting draconian policies think about what that would do. It would only make things worse, and it would not do a damn thing to save people's lives. What we're doing now is really, you take a look at the difference between the United States and Italy, all right? We have way more cases than Italy, and yet we have less deaths. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Because we didn't freak people out. People still got freaked out, but it was worse in Italy. They weren't prepared. And then they issued these lockdown orders, which caused people to really freak out. All right? You know, and you know, media loves to use these words lockdowns. Even people say, oh, New York's under a lockdown. No, we're not under a lockdown. We're under a pause, like Governor Cuomo said. We have paused all non-essential activities in our society right now. All right? So we highly suggest that you stay home as much as possible. And when you go out, you only go out for essential things. Whether that be exercise, fresh air, like I'm doing, food, whether it be taking out of a restaurant or going to the supermarket, or medical supplies, or anything that's essential, but nothing else. All right? That's what it means. Okay? That's what it means. And it also means that this is not a time to be gathering with other people. I don't understand why it's so hard for some people to understand what social distancing is all about. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to understand that. All right? You can go to the park. This is not, because there have been reports of large groups of people. This is not a time for that. All right? And I'm annoyed because there was reports in Ocean County, not at Jake's Branch, but another park, that there was overcrowding. And that there were lots of people hanging out in certain areas with violating the social distance guidelines. But I don't think that Ocean County freeholder Virginia Haynes took the right approach. Instead of doing that, what she should have done is have the police, like I said, have the police come and break up these groups of people. But here's the thing: I almost have a almost positive hunch that these large groups of people that were congregating were Hasidic. And I've talked about this, how they've taken over Lakewood, how they've turned it into the city. And if you talk about this in Ocean County, the Ocean County government is basically, there's a thing called the VAD, V-A-A-D. They're controlled by this mafia. They don't follow the rules. They overcrowd everything in Lakewood. All right, they knock down all the trees. They're involved in a lot of shady practices. This is the way these people are. It's part of their culture to act the way they do. All right, and what they're doing, Rise Up Ocean County was a group that was formed to call this kind of behavior out. And what did Ocean County freeholder Virginia Haynes do, and the Ocean County freeholders? They condemned Rise Up Ocean County. Areas like these are being cut down all over Lakewood right now. The amount of development that's going on in Lakewood dwarfs anything that we have planned for Long Island. All right? And this is what this group is really all about. Stopping this overdevelopment. These people have come out of Brooklyn, come out of other places, and they're setting up their own city. And then they only want to be with their own kind. Really want to be with their own kind. They build these housing developments, but you have to be one of these Hasidic people to get into these developments. They're not going to let you in any other way. All right? Which is against the law. But like I said, they're like the mafia. They have so much control in Ocean County. Fortunately, we don't have that issue here. But basically, they control the county. There's even word that they have control of the governor. Phil Murphy's condemned them a little bit, but not enough. He hasn't done anything to really stop it, I mean, I think, our governor was this is another example where I was completely wrong. I'm not saying Phil Murphy sucks. I'm not saying that. I still think he's decent. He's better than the previous guy, Chris Christie. But, let me look at the time. But the issue is that you have large clusters in New Jersey where there are a lot of cases. And guess where those cases are? Lakewood. Places in Bergen County. These are all areas that have a heavy amount of Hasidics. The same thing happened in New Rochelle. It was an outbreak at a temple. But our governor was smart enough to set up a containment area. Now, it wasn't a containment area that people couldn't leave, but it was an area where they took preliminary immediate action to stop the spread. New Jersey did none of that. So this is another example where Phil Murphy dropped the ball. And Phil Murphy is not stepping in and saying, we need uniform policies across the state. He's allowing counties to close their parks. He's allowing cities like Hoboken to issue these orders telling people they can't even go out and exercise. And he's not doing a damn thing about it. Whereas Cuomo is saying, we're not going to have that in this state. People are not going to be locked in their homes in the state. We are not going to have a lockdown in this state. Whereas Phil Murphy also said, he also set up a curfew in New Jersey if you're out after 8 p.m. It's highly avoiding recommending travel after 8. Now, first of all, under the United States Constitution, I was watching a lawyer's video about this too. If you're out driving down the road at 8 o'clock, the police have no right to stop you and ask you what you're doing, just to say what you're doing, unless you've actually broken some kind of law, like, running a stop sign, speeding, or whatever. They have no right to ask you what you're doing. So if I'm walking around now and a cop asks me what I'm doing, I don't have to answer him. I don't have to tell him what I'm doing. I will, because I'm here and I'm enjoying this nice weather. But you don't have to. That's the point, all right? So we're so willing to give up our rights, and I'm going to start walking over the train station now. We're so willing to give up our rights. We really have to think about it. I was kind of at the same very spot, you remember. We're so willing to give up our rights and not realize the ramifications of that. In New Jersey, unfortunately, they don't seem to have the same type of value for the Constitution that they do in New York, which I cannot believe. But this is another reason why I would never want to move to New Jersey. I mean, there were many reasons why before this happened. But after seeing the way the government handled it in New Jersey, after seeing the way Ocean County handled this, and they're not really, I went to the Ocean County webpage. Does Ocean County even produce a map of where all the COVID cases are? No, they don't have much information at all. Nassau County does, all right, but not Ocean County. So you have to understand what's happening here, and I want my viewers to be aware that there has to be a limit to how much you can give up, all right? There has to be a limit. So I'm making my way over to the train station now. It's a little early, but bottom line is this. You have to draw the line somewhere when it comes to, doing what you can to stop the virus. And staying inside and not going for a walk outside doesn't help anyone. The chances of that virus being able to make it from him outside, with the sun out especially, and with this open air circulation, is almost non-existent. Right? The virus is transmitted mainly through the air. And now they're saying, it's come out that it's not so much through the droplets as it is people touching their face. So people are on the outside, they touch an object and they touch their face. I'm not going to get into the details of it. This is all practice. You can really just prevent spreading the virus by just practicing proper hygiene. But it is a very contagious virus. And that's why we have to take these precautions, extra precautions, to be super safe. And like I say, I totally support them. But being outside and taking a hike is not something that's going to put anyone in danger, or expose you to anything. You're more to worry about from the ticks and getting Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spider fever and babiosis and a meat allergy than about catching a virus from hiking. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, all right? So if they want to close the parks to protect people's health, then they may have to close them, and they might as well have them closed 10 months out of the year and only have them open in the coldest of the winter, so that when the ticks aren't around. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. have to draw the line somewhere. I mean, my friend Andy's randomness, he's been inside for like 3 weeks. I don't know how you're doing it, Andy. He has to do it because there's somebody who lives with him who's vulnerable. And I kind of understand that. I don't know why you guys can't like quarantine the house and maybe have him stay in the quarantined area to protect him. I mean, I could never do that. I don't know how anyone could do that. That is very unhealthy. All right. You don't exercise and you don't walk around. Even after a couple of days, I feel it. All right. You feel sick. Your body starts getting run down. Your heart starts getting weaker. So when you do get up and move around, you feel weaker. It's not good. You get your muscles atrophy. You have to get out and walk around and exercise. Jeez. That's what you call a Jake break right there. Okay, we're at the Pinelawn station now. Yeah, I'll be getting on the... Wow, look at that sky over there. It's pretty. I'll be getting on the 301 train. Go back. No, I'm not going to stay home if it's not raining out. I'm going to walk around. I have to. If that means taking the train, yeah. If I can take the train and the trains are empty enough that I can properly social distance, then I will. If they're not, I wear a mask. Masks work. I'm going to put something else in the video too about masks. Masks are proven. You hear, oh, don't wear the mask. It's not going to... Masks, if you put on a mask, it's going to prevent you from catching a lot of diseases, including this virus. All right? It's not 100%, but it reduces your chances a great deal. So, what I mean by that is you put on... look, I'll tell you a story, all right? You know, some of you who know me for a while know, if I have to get on a crowded bus, especially if there's no air on it, I'm going to wear my mask. And I'll tell you, it makes a difference. Let me get out of the wind, because I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me. There you go. So, wearing a mask. Before I started wearing a mask on crowded buses, I would get sick with colds approximately 8 to 10 times a year, which is a lot. Almost every other month I'd catch a cold. Right? And this is with all the hand washing in the world and all the hand sanitizer and alcohol in the world. All right? And then I started wearing the mask. And then I cut it down to about 2 to 3 colds a year. All right? So it makes a difference wearing a mask. Because when people cough in an enclosed space, not outside, as I said before, if they cough in an enclosed space, like let's say this is an enclosed bus or whatever, and there's somebody maybe 5 feet away from me that coughs, those little vapor droplets, especially if there's no ventilation on, float in the air, and then you breathe them in, and they wind up in your nasal cavity or in your throat, and that's usually you get a sore throat, and then it goes in the nasal throat. With this particular virus, it can do that, but it also has a tendency to go deeper inside you and make you sick. All right. In your lungs, which is where the serious part of this virus is.
All trains will be departing from track 2, platform B. Please safely cross over to platform B to board all trains.
So, by wearing the mask, you're preventing yourself from getting sick. But the mask truly is the most effective when somebody who's sick wears it. So the point is this. We may be able to get people back into these places that might be a little more crowded, but everybody's going to have to wear a mask. And honestly, I want to see this habit become more commonplace. They've been doing this in some Asian countries for a long time, especially Japan and South Korea. And guess what? They didn't get that hit hard by the virus. Gee, I wonder why. Because they had the mask on. That's why. So that's why you're not crazy for wearing a mask. If you need to wear a mask, I totally understand. If I'm in a crowded place, that's what I do. Masks work. It's not, masks prevent you from catching it. And the other thing masks do is prevent you from touching your face. And this is a big problem, and this is probably the number one, more than the airborne germs, But the number one way people get sick is that when they're on the outside, they touch their face constantly. I've learned not to do that, and I'm doing this to tell all of you: don't touch your face when you're on the outside. So many people touch their face; they don't realize it. You got to think about it, all right? Because touching your face is when you touch your face, any surface you touch, unless you wash your hands and use alcohol constantly, any surface you touch, all right, whether it be that railing or or a door handle or anything. So many other people have touched it. And they had germs on their hands, and now those germs get transferred onto your face where they can enter your body. And that's why people need to stop touching their face. People, you don't know where that surface has been. All right. It's just kind of interesting for me because I've been somebody who's been a germ. I'm a germaphobe. I'm going to admit I'm a germaphobe. All right. And now I'm the one who feels like I see everybody wearing masks and wearing plastic gloves and all this other stuff. I'm like, I'm the one who started this trend. I don't get no credit. And another thing is when you're eating out. When you eat out, a lot of people, they don't wash their hands before they eat. You got to wash your hands before you eat. And even after that, you've got to use alcohol on your hands with sanitizer or alcohol, all right? Right before you eat, before you touch your food, all right? Because if you don't, again, your hands are full of germs and they're going to be transferred into your body. And then when you get home, this is another thing I do. I'm sharing this with you, so I want all of you to be healthy, all right? You don't have to stay locked in your house, but you have to take these common sense things. And even after this is over, you need to keep doing these common sense things, all right? If you want to stay healthy. Because a lot of people get sick, and these viruses, even viruses like colds and other viruses and other germs out there. If we just did these things and practiced proper hygiene, a lot of these viruses would go away. They wouldn't have hosts. They wouldn't be able to, do what they're doing. You would have a much healthier population, and people would be less sick, and people would be doing better. I'm not saying you got to do the gloves and the mask and all that, all right? I still think the mask, if you're on a crowded bus with no ventilation, is a good idea. This only applies to you if you're riding nice bus, all right? All right, because I don't know what it is with nice. They're the only system that does this. They don't ever put on the HVAC. There's no ventilation, and the bus is crowded. All the windows are closed. It's disgusting. I don't even think a mask is enough. I think you need a full, biohazard suit. It's disgusting, all right? And they're still not putting the HVAC on, too. I've been on nice couple. They're still not putting it on. Fortunately, it's empty, but they're still not putting it on. So I guess they never will. If this won't make them put the HVAC on and order these drivers to put the HVAC on, nothing will. So the last thing that I want to tell you is when you get home, I'm putting these tips down in the description too. When you get home, from the outside, what you need to do, you need to take off your shoes, put them by the door, because you don't know where the bottoms of your shoes have germs on them. So put them by the door. You don't want to track the germs all over your house or apartment. And then the clothes you're wearing from the outside, take them off too and change into other clothes or, other attire when you get home. Don't wear the clothes you're wearing on the outside inside, because if there are germs on them, then you're going to track them all over your house. These are common sense things that I do to try to stay healthy, all right? And of course, vitamins, vitamin E, vitamin C, zinc are also very important. Drinking enough water, all these things, So, bottom line is this: staying in your house for days on end isn't going to be good for you. You're going to have to go out, all right? But take the proper precautions. You should always take these precautions, coronavirus or not, all right? That's all I can say. I want all of you to be healthy. They say you're going to find, everybody is going to know somebody who catches the virus, and I'm sure some of you are going to catch it. For all we know, some of us have had it and may not have even known it. All right, maybe it was just a mild illness for a lot of us, or maybe some of us were asymptomatic and never even got sick. All right, but there are germs everywhere, and we have to treat every person you see and every surface you touch, you have to assume has germs on it. So, and it's understandable. You can't get the germs off the surfaces, but you just practice common sense. Your hands are your vector, so don't touch your face with your hands. And when you eat, you got to wash your hands. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. All right? Hot water, if you have hot water, as hot as you can stand it. All right? All right? It's soap and water. It doesn't have to be antibacterial soap. It'll wash off the germs off your hands. All right? That's the least you can do. All right? Especially if you have to use the bathroom. I don't know how many times I've seen people who don't wash their hands after using the restroom. That's disgusting. All right? And then people who don't flush the toilet. That's another thing. You've seen that in Belmore. It's a common problem on the South Shore, especially. I doubt it'll change even after this, which is also disgusting. All right? It's just common sense. We were brought up, and this is why the government is taking these actions in some ways, because we, as people, seem to forget everything we were taught in school. Even taught by our parents. So, understand that, all right? But, we have to draw the line somewhere, and, let's flatten the curve, but at the same time, staying indoors and saying you can't take a hike, that doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help save anyone's life. If you're just taking a hike by yourself, with no one else, and you're not coming into contact with anyone else, and you're not coming in within 6 feet of anyone else, I don't get it. So that's it. That's been my feelings on this. I hope you enjoyed this little video here. Wasn't anticipating on taking one, but hopefully you've gotten a chance to get outside and enjoy this beautiful day. Don't let anyone stop you from doing that. Take care and be well.